And so that's why A1 is my favorite condiment, Amy.
I know, but we've talked about ketchup, though, that with sweet potato fries is kind of everything for me. And what about honey mustard with chicken nuggets? For me, fake chicken nuggets.
I mean, I don't do mustard. I just
honey,
sorry.
but it's sweet mustard. What about Dijon mustard? It's a spicy mustard. No?
No, like I'm pretty basic. Like I have ketchup with my fries and A1 with obviously with steak and with everything else. But like I was having A1 on meats like when it was just A1 steak sauce, and people told me you're crazy. And now look,
no, steak sauce goes on everything. My barbecue sauce that I have from Oklahoma, because I'm from the South, I put it on everything. I put it on sandwiches. I put it on like hot dogs. I think I even dipped some fries in it a couple nights ago. If once you find the right like barbecue sauce or like steak sauce for you, why would you ever have anything else?
Yeah, exactly. Now the question is, what condiment do you think Keira likes best?
Definitely not mayo, because that's déclassé. So I'm thinking, I feel like she'd be like, does balsamic vinegar count? She'd be like a really nice aged balsamic vinegar that makes your Italian food the best, you know?
That sounds right.
A nice olive oil?
Yeah.
Kind of not condiment, more like cooking ingredients, but whatever.
Yeah. So we haven't forgotten that we're on. I just decided to throw a wrench in the whole opening. Hey everybody, it's my birthday and I am 22 years old.
Yep. Yes. Just like last time. So yes, happy birthday, John. Yay. Let's all get claps in the chat. You might have seen on Twitter, I made some little greetings for John. So
oh my God, I love
show y'all that as well. So let me hold up. So the first one I made from me in Chinese. Juni Shunger Kuaila, happy birthday, your podcast sibling, and the Chinese under that is your podcast sibling, and it's Nida Boka Mei. I'm your little sister. I'm your podcast little sister is actually the direct
when
translation.
I first saw that, I just saw the letter and I was like, oh, is that the title card that Amy made for her birthday stream?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
But then I saw your podcast sibling, and then I saw the next one. Obviously, I was like, "Oh, she made a whole bunch of stuff for me."
Yes, I made one. So that is directly from me. And the next one, I think I speak for Jared, Kate, and the rest of the Knights of Keira. XOXO, happy birthday, John. The Knights of Keira share in your love of our queen, and we thank you for being our Lord Commander.
The only thing that made me upset about this was that I would have totally used this for the title card. If I'd had it sooner, but it's so absolutely
I made it like an hour ago, so did not give you. And then finally, the bigger fam as a whole, everyone over at Here Be Dragons, happy birthday, John. I know I speak for all of them that we appreciate your friendship and wish you a very happy 21st birthday. You can finally drink, but I know you won't because you love orange juice so much.
No, that's the whole reason why I haven't drank. Because I've been underage.
Because you haven't been 21 yet. I understand. Yeah. Look, I know that not all of us follow the rules like you did, but you did wait till 21, and I think that's commendable, John.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, welcome everybody. We're back. We're doing a live stream again before we thought we would. We haven't even launched the podcast yet, and we're back doing another live stream. But it's my birthday, and when I floated this idea, Amy was like, "Yeah, we gotta do a live stream for your birthday." And then I really tried to be good, guys. I tried to come up with an idea for today.
He gave me like 5 options that weren't this, so I can vouch for it.
And then she's like, "Do you just want to talk about Keira?" And then like I put up a fight for about 1, 2, 3, about 5 seconds, and then I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Sure, Amy, twist my arm if we must.
But
we wanted to do something that was low maintenance. And what do we have the most pictures of already ready to the size of a YouTube screen? Keira. Just all things Keira. Like all of her movies and everything about her.
I mean, it actually is the full truth, but but still, like, she did not have to twist my arm, that's for sure. But yeah, thanks guys for coming in. Yeah, we got Kate repping the Knights of Keira
Knights of
there.
Keira, and then Tony's like, treat yourself for your birthday. Yeah, we'll get you on. He still hasn't watched Parks and Rec yet, but he will. Don't worry. I'm gonna get John to do it.
I'm really sorry, Laura. I did tease Amadeus to you guys, and that discussion is coming. It'll just have to be on the podcast, because I know Nessie wants to come on and talk about it, and I believe I've got Shakes is also interested in it. So we just have to work out the timing for that. But that movie deserves like a full, discussion anyway.
Definitely.
Because I'm just going to go on and on about it. But yeah, so it's my birthday, and jokes aside, it's my 37th birthday.
Okay, and you say so.
Yeah, and I feel old.
Look, some people make it to 102, so you're not even halfway there.
Yeah, this is true, and I have plenty of people I know in the chat who are about to say, "Shut up, John."
Yeah,
but Erin in particular, she does not tolerate any negative thinking about our age.
We are not old. No one is old. Erin is right. Everyone is a spring chicken, and I stand by her on this issue.
I told her
don't be ageist. People of all ages can do lots of amazing things.
I'm telling you guys, you need to be miserable. This is the way.
Okay, well, for my 37th birthday, I will be miserable, just in your honor, okay?
Oh, God. How long is
So
that?
I'll see you in 10 years. 9 years.
God. But, yeah, so surprise, surprise, I spent today watching Keira movies in preparation for this. Everybody's shocked and surprised. Though I did finally get you to watch Atonement the other night, Amy.
Yes, you did. You got me to. I told you I would watch one movie for this, because I have to watch 2 other movies and read 3 articles for one class. And then, I also have to teach, and I have a whole nother class with readings. So I was like, John, I'm really swamped, but I will watch one movie. And so we picked Keira Knightley, because I've already seen most of the movies he wanted me to see, except for one. So that was one movie. It met my requirements. And
I know it was terribly tragic and very sad, but you did get the green dress.
I got the dress. Finally, the dress. The green dress. Okay. Those who know me know green is my favorite color, and it's literally this exact shade is my color. It's not quite dark forest green. It's like a light forest green, but it's not like lime or anything like that. Like, this is the exact green that I picture in my mind that is like the best green. And so, and the cut of the dress, the fashion of it, and I mean, she just looked fabulous. And if the movie weren't so sad, I would have been a lot more thirsty, but it kind of killed my lady boner a little bit because of how sad it was.
I think there was plenty of thirst going on at certain points in the movie.
Yeah, especially when she came out of the fountain, I was like, oh my. Okay, there we go. Erin is calling it spring green, and that is what I am going with. Thank you, Erin.
But yeah, no, it was a great time, but I did forget, I didn't forget how sad it was, but I forgot how sad it made me. Like, we got to the end of the movie, and I even typed out, I said, Amy, I'm drowning in tears over here.
Yeah, and what made it kind of difficult for me is I was cooking while watching it, or doing something while watching it, and so I was trying to do things that were important for my health, like eating, and have all these feels. It was a lot. And I love costume drama, so I was just excited for that in the first place. And all of Keira's costume dramas are tragic, but that one in particular, especially because I went in with a very negative kind of framework because of the Me Too movement. I was worried that this movie might not be the best on this kind of issue, but it really surprised me in that it did not enrage me.
Good. Just want to say bye, Erin. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, and it was hard to kind of set the movie up when we've talked about it before, because you say too much of the plot and it kind of gives away what happens. So I feel like I was vague and
Yeah,
described.
that's like when you asked me what the others was about for Halloween, our Halloween stream, and I didn't want to give anything away. I was like, these kids in this old house and it might be haunted. Like, I can't give it away any more than that because there's like, a lot going on and there's a twist ending and that kind of stuff. But I don't care about content previews though.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but still, it was nice. Like once things started to like unravel in the first half of the movie, it was nice to, then read your comments like, "Ooh, this is getting really interesting." Like
Yeah.
just getting that reaction of you not knowing exactly what was coming up. It was good because you're always so into spoilers. So it was nice that you didn't absolutely know what was coming all the time.
You make it out like you have a crush on spoilers. Amy, you're so into spoilers. My God, you can't get over spoilers. You think spoilers are so pretty and nice. You want to get with spoilers.
I do want to pause right here because just to be clear, we're kind of doing an informal thing on this stream because it is my birthday stream, and I promised you guys that this would also be AMA. So feel free, like if there's anything you want me to divulge on my birthday, feel free to ask questions away. We're going to be talking about,
we've covered condiments, but if you have any other questions for John, me, or just John, or don't do just me because it's his birthday stream. You can ask our opinions on things, or specifically John something. I know he's done it. I know that, nerd, but there's always more to know. The man, the mystery. Yeah,
and I actually did like a full AMA on my last birthday when it was just me. That was my second stream ever. Because the first one I did was a Tolkien Day reading stream. Yep, it's my birthday. And then I went on, I think it was a few days later, and I wanted to do a solo stream because I thought if I can pull off a solo stream, then I think I can actually do this like as a regular thing. And then of course I started having guests on after that, but that was 2 hours.
Dude, solo is so hard though. I did an AMA and I only lasted 50 minutes. I was like, I can't do this. It's also, I was getting drunk while doing it. That was probably a big part of it, J-Dubs. But yeah, AMAs are tough though, because you want to keep engaging with the audience, but also be interesting. So, that's a great question.
You should ask. What is on my shirt? It is none other than the Pirate Queen herself, Miss Elizabeth Swan.
Pirate King.
Pirate King, yes. Sorry.
Men and women do the same job. Oh, yeah. I thought I'd do it poppy this time.
You would have been proud of me, though, Amy, because even though I got it wrong on the tweet, on both my Facebook post and in the description here, I made sure to put actor instead of actress.
So my God, I'm so proud! Yay! One social media post at a time. My feminist works.
Yeah. Okay, on a scale of 1 to Keira, how much do I love orange juice?
And I want to know exactly, like, for you, what makes a good glass of OJ? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. That's also, I'm also interested in your general OJ takes.
Well, here's the thing about this, like, scale here. Because a lot of you are in the Slack group, so you know my feelings about orange juice. But my concern is that Keira is watching this right now. And, like, I don't want to say that, that I love orange juice more than anything else in the world. So I'm going to say Keira ranks a little higher.
So it's like below Keira a little bit on this scale.
Yeah, but orange juice is pretty darn great.
You're really repping the orange state over there with the orange juice. You're like in your natural habitat when you drink orange juice.
Yeah, I mean, I always have it handy, so I think that speaks louder than any anything I could say. Now what were you, now what were you asking specifically about?
Yes. So, what makes a good orange juice? If I remember correctly, you are not a fan of pulp. Is this correct?
No, it needs to be devoid of pulp.
Okay.
This
So
is
I like
very
pulp.
important.
You hate pulp. This is why we work as podcast siblings.
Yeah, and also like I would have had like it would have been I would have been able to get more creative in terms of, you know, what I like in terms of like the different kinds of orange juice, you know, like years back. But once you start to have heartburn, it becomes a thing where you find the orange juice that gives you the least amount of heartburn, and that's what you go with. So I basically just get my orange juice from Publix, which gives me the least amount of trouble. But heartburn aside, Simply Orange I really love.
Okay. I
They're
like the
delicious.
Simply Orange with, is it with pineapple or something? I've had that before and I liked that. But yeah, I'm hashtag team pulp, but that's just me.
Oh, Amy. I really don't know what to say to that. I don't.
I thought I was gonna sneeze and then it didn't come. That was really disappointing.
I can't tell if he's just trolling me or if he genuinely wants to know, but we can talk about this. What is
Okay,
the worst
So
Keira Knightley film?
yeah, what is
that
your
I've
least favorite?
Because there are some that I actually haven't seen.
Okay, well, of the ones you've seen, which is the one you enjoyed the least?
I can honestly say that no, I can be objective about this, which I think the one that's probably the least good is, and as much as I know this was your exposure to Keira, it probably is King Arthur.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's kind of a mess.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how else to put it. It's
like
just bless this mess. You know, that's what when I saw. Look, that's the first time I saw Keira. But when I watched it again, I was like, bless this mess. Wow, this is one messy movie.
Yeah, it's like it thinks it's a, you know, some kind of historical epic, but it's like this dumb Jerry Bruckheimer action movie, and not even one of the better ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Keira really is the bright shining spot of that movie, and I know I'm not objective about that, but
but I agree. That's, of the ones I've seen, that is definitely the weakest movie. You are King Arthur. You are the weakest link. So
yeah, and it's actually a shame because I think that was like Clive Owen's first big like American break when he started to become known, and it wasn't really the best like starting project for him, but thankfully like right after that he had Closer. I don't know if you've seen that or not, with with him, Jude Law, Natalie Portman, and Julia Roberts, and that's a fantastic film, and he is extraordinary, and as is Natalie Portman. I'm trying to remember if they both got Oscar nominations or if it was just Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
And that was really her big comeback too, because she was coming out of the Star Wars prequels, where she was not getting good reviews. I mean, nobody really was except for
that was
like, except for Ewan McGregor. But like he's invincible. And
seriously, Teflon, that guy. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great movie, and but. So Keira was kind of like, it's funny when we were doing the watch party and we were like, it was like getting through like the first 40 minutes and then it's like Keira shows up. We're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. No, and actually that's one of the things that I love about Keira Knightley films. A lot of them, especially these period dramas, is when you know she's there, you see the back of her, and the first time she looks up or you see her face. It's like in The Duchess, when she's in white and they're running around and playing, and you like kind of see him from afar, and then you see her face, you're like, yeah! You get up and you spill your popcorn everywhere because it's Keira Knightley and you're excited to see her. So there's, you know, a lot of movies are like that. When she does show up, it's really iconic. She's kind of like how Wonder Woman comes in the movies and is like, yeah, I'm here, you know, and the theme comes in the background, but with Keira Knightley.
I mean, she really is like Diana in the Wonder Woman movie.
Yes,
she
the woman
shows
can
up
make
like,
an entrance.
like in a room full of stuffy men, and then everybody just kind of stops.
Yeah.
Yes. But King Arthur was your first introduction.
It was.
So what were those feels like?
I mean, that's the thing, is I was going in completely uncaring about any historical anything, and I just enjoyed it in the, you know, as just a movie. And my friend was just so surprised I didn't know who Keira Knightley was. And, you know, of course, pirates, then everyone knew. But that was really surprising to me. I didn't know at the time. I know now. I was really attracted to her, but I didn't know that it was, you know, like this kind of attraction. I still thought I was a straight kid, so I was like, that's a pretty lady.
Like, we're always trying to, like, we obviously are very respectful of Miss Knightley because
very talented, wonderful.
We are both like uber fans of her performances and her films, but that is a breathtaking woman.
Yes.
So how could you not be? Like,
look, I mean, she's just in my top 5. What could I do? It's like if we're talking about Mila Kunis, I cannot go without mentioning my love and thirst for her. It's I have to be open with the people. I can't be anyone but myself. That is my brand.
I do see some people mentioning Domino, which, to be fair, I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen all of it because, to be honest, like, that's definitely one of Tony Scott's, like, more. It was one of his more extreme looking films in terms of like the style and how erratic it is. So I haven't seen enough of it to judge, but yeah. So and to be fair, there's a couple other ones that I haven't seen, which I know Padar keeps getting on me to see The Hole, which was one of her earliest films, which I still haven't seen.
Yeah, and people, when we're talking about thirst, I mean, this is what we're working with. What do you want us to do? I don't, like, it's hard not to. And now I made a really bad joke and I didn't mean to. But that's the thing, is that people that aren't even Keira fans have at least seen Pirates or have at least seen Love Actually, right? Have seen, she has these iconic performances that are gift, and people at least know who she is, even if they're not a fan. She's just so iconic in pop culture.
Yeah, there's that shot in Love Actually, which I'm trying to think when I actually saw that film. Oh, Steven, I love you. I think, I mean, it probably was. I think it was around when I saw Pride and Prejudice, so I didn't see it when it came out. I think because that's when I started looking back at her filmography, and it was another Focus Features film. But there's that shot when she first comes into the film.
Yep.
Where exactly it's out of focus, and she just comes in this, beautiful smile on her face, and it's like, how can you not be in love with her as soon as you see her?
Yes.
But yeah, I've said this before, but Pride and Prejudice was the one, because I saw Pirates of the Caribbean. That's when the crush happened. But Pride and Prejudice was when, first of all, that was when I started to realize that I could like many different kinds of films that weren't just stereotypical like guy movies. And I was so blown away by her performance because she conveys. It's a funny trick that's done there where you fall in love with the character of Elizabeth Bennet, and so you're sort of there right in the middle of that love story between her and Darcy, and when she's expressing how in love she is with him at the end of the film, and she's bubbling over with this like giddiness, you just can't, it's so infectious. And I just remember being so emotionally immersed in that. And And so it's, you know, as I've said many times before, it's a very transformative film in terms of like my tastes in movies.
Yeah, and it also, you know, I was just putting up kind of this image of her. I think it's really amazing how much she can convey in those really quiet scenes where, especially the scenes where she's alone, like when she's on the swing. Obviously, some of her best performances are when she's telling it to the guy that she's with, right? That's like usually kind of the Oscar clip, you know, for me. Like she does in Colette, the Duchess, and in Pride and Prejudice, kind of let him have a piece of her mind. But the parts where she's alone and pensive are really, really impactful. And it makes the movie more filled out and also does make it a little bit better as far as, you know, making her the focus of the movie. It is obviously about her, you know, it's her character is often the love interest, so it usually is about her relationship, you know, period dramas, but her kind of handling the conflict internally and us seeing her in those quiet moments are what make the movies for me. Like the breaths in between, you know what I'm saying?
Patter, I'm going to ignore that. But I want to comment here. Steven says he'd love to see Keira play a villain in a superhero movie. Yeah, I like, as much as I love Keira doing what she loves to do, which is, you know, these period pieces, because, you know, I mean, who wouldn't love to just do movie after movie where you're getting to step into the past and sort of experiences the whole other world, but that can also be accomplished through like superhero comic book films, and it'd be really interesting to see her sink her teeth into, you know, some kind of villain role, which she actually did a little bit. It's not a comic book film, but I don't know if you saw the Nutcracker movie from a couple of years ago.
Oh, I think I might have missed it.
I mean, not super great, but she was hilarious because she was like a scenery chewing villain in that. And so I'd actually like to see her do more of that, but maybe, as Steven suggests, in the realm of a comic book
Yeah,
film.
I think she would do that. She would be able to act the crap out of that.
Yeah, and actually, we had a question from somebody on Twitter whose name is Andrew Lawson. Who should she play in A Song of Ice and Fire adaptation? And like, in, you know, following up on this idea of a villain like Cersei, right? When you just love to see
Yeah, she could definitely do Cersei, especially with a lot of the scenes where she kind of gets mad and clenches her jaw. I could easily see that as Cersei's wrath.
Yeah, we all are, James. The green dress is everything.
Yes, green dress is bae.
And in case you weren't here earlier, there you go. Because everybody should see that.
Everyone. Yeah, but so obviously the main kind of focus of these period pieces that Keira's in is the romance, which is what kind of John likes a little bit more, and I tend to be into it because I love the aesthetics of a period piece, especially turn of the 20th century, late 1800s, early 1900s, which is kind of where Colette sits, and that is the best for me. That's the period that I study for my PhD, and I really appreciate seeing that kind of acted out. And I think especially, obviously, the queer themes from Colette are what really attract me to it. And also, this scene, this dress, I have feels. It makes me feel things. Sorry, I wish I could offer more commentary, except for yes. But it is, I think that Colette actually, to me, was probably one of her more daring roles, and I really appreciated that. I do like when she takes on a challenge and then just kills it, as always.
Which, again, it's never not going to enrage me that film wasn't even campaigned for any awards.
Well,
Like,
you have a love-hate relationship with the awards anyway, John.
yeah, I do. Like this, like, okay, sidetrack, sidetrack discussion, but that's what we're doing today. Like this year, I didn't even remember that the awards were being announced on the day that they came out, which is probably might be the first time that's ever happened. Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Yes. Yeah, Keira would be a good Elena Tyrell. Nay, red wine. Yeah, that would be great. I also think a young Barbary Dustin, but we just wouldn't really get a flashback of her. And I don't even think she had a big part in the show. But if we were doing,
they need to nab her for something on the stage play they're getting ready to do.
Yes, that
which
would be awesome.
The attorney at Harrenhal. I mean, like, the opportunity is right there. You didn't cast her in the show, so damn it, you have another chance here. But Pat, you're really at it. Okay, I got the message.
Potter, not today. It's his birthday. All right, here we go. I have the gavel. I am declaring this your birthday, and therefore no troll zone, Potter. Keep it down. Very official. Instead of actually using a wrench, I'm using a physical gavel.
So we have Cassie asking, which Keira movie has the best score, thus making it the perfect John? I want to know your answer first, Amy. Does any music stand out for you?
It's between the Colette and between the Duchess and Colette for me. I'm actually probably going to give it to Colette.
Let's see. I'm torn between Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End and Pride and Prejudice. I think Pride and Prejudice, just because that is my favorite Keira movie, and the music is so gorgeous and like so unabashedly romantic. But that last Pride and Prejudice score has just there's a lot of all three of those films, because there are only three. But they're very action heavy. But what number 3 has is it's got this sort of swashbuckling sensibility that I think the others don't necessarily have, especially with the Will and Elizabeth love theme that plays during when they're getting married in the middle of the battle. It's just like, it's so exciting and like actiony, but like I said, romantic. So yeah, I am quite fond of that score, but still, I'm going to say Pride and Prejudice probably gets it.
I do really love these iconic kind of looks from Pirates, though, I will say. As far as memorable costuming, Pirates really sticks out in my head, for sure.
Yeah, and what I actually love about that shot right there is the fact that wasn't even how the film was originally supposed to open. They were going to open the film with Jack.
But who's the main character of Pirates of the Caribbean, John? It's not Jack Sparrow. It's Keira freaking Knightley.
Exactly. Elizabeth Swann is the protagonist. She goes on the journey over the course of the 3 films.
Yeah, who's Pirate King in the end?
Exactly.
Keira freaking Knightley. I'm telling you. This is the hill that we are both collectively dying on. She is the main character. And
Jack as a character is, he fills the role of, he's sort of the loose cannon, element that's the comic relief. It's, he provides, the action beats. And actually, I'd argue his character works best when he doesn't really change all that much. I actually think that his performance in the second one actually suffers a bit because they give him this character arc, which I don't think really fits with the character that's established in the first one. But I think in both the first and the third films, he's just sort of this character who's pretty much the same in the beginning as he is at the end, and there's a certain delight in that. But Keira is the one who gets that beautiful character arc over the course of the three films. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree at all, Tony.
I mean, the pirate I love it.
I am trying my damnedest to steer back in conversation to let's talk about her performances, but we just keep coming back to.
Look, I think that
Keira,
her performance in Pirates of the Caribbean, you really do have her. I think the development of her character is really strong, and I think that, of course, she has, I think, good writing and storytelling to work with. But I think especially when she gives those speeches to men and telling them what to do, those are some of the most well-acted scenes in early 2000s cinema. I'm saying it now, right? Where she is like, look, I don't give a crap if you think I'm a woman and can't do shit. Like, we're going to get this done. I am your boss now.
Yeah, Cassie, because trust me, it's a better look for Amy to be the one thirsting, and to maybe
I'm his thirst shield, and this, like, half of my job as his co-host is to thirst more than him, so that he can thirst a little.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the John Sigh is trademarked, by the way. That is the proper way to do it, Stephen. Thank you.
Yes, no longer patent pending. we did all the paperwork.
But yeah, I mean, I absolutely adore. I mean, I don't think that the second and third films are quite as sort of perfect as the first one is. I think the first film is sort of one of the quintessential, summer blockbusters. But there is just so much to love in the second and third, and this scene where Keira is, just giving her big speech to the pirates, and she's totally commanding them, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I don't mind saying it's why I do enjoy those sequels so much. It's because of the journey that her character goes on.
Exactly, and it feels like Jack is kind of stumbling, Jack Sparrow's kind of just stumbling through life, and Elizabeth is a little bit more, has a lot more conviction and drive, I think. She's like the dang it, you haven't seen Parks and Rec. She's the Leslie Knope of the group. She gets it done.
You know what? One of these days, I'm just going to watch the show, but I'm not going to tell you, and you're going to continue being like, you're going to be like, oh, John, you're not getting this reference, and I'll be going,
I'm used to frustratedly going, John. So I use it for two people. So, John, you have to tell me the second you've seen any episode of Parks and Rec. This is very important to me.
I miss this. It's true, Patter. Like,
troll's gonna troll. I get it's your nature. Like, I'm gonna thirst. It's one's nature.
It's like when he first started doing it, I really got annoyed, and now it's like, oh, Patter, you're just gonna patter. But I love you, man. It's been like, I'm trying to remember when I saw that film, but I do remember hearing about it like early on, especially around Pirates of the Caribbean, which that was her kind of breakout role.
Yeah. I saw it on a bus, so I really need to rewatch it.
But yeah,
I like sports, and I watch it for the sports.
But it is so funny going back to like watching her in that. And I was even thinking about watching Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like, and in the spirit of birthday talk, it's like, I'm getting so old. It's like she was a baby back then. Because that was all the way back in 2003, and it's now 2021. I'm trying to think of where the time goes.
It keeps on slipping into the future.
Yeah, I want to go back and see if I missed any questions, because I do want to balance.
Yes,
this
everyone,
out.
please. AJA, ask John anything.
Or you can ask Amy something too. It's not her birthday, but
I mean, okay, I actually have a question for you. Is Love actually one of your Christmas movies, or do you watch it year round?
Christmas movie.
Okay.
Because there's just something about only watching it like one time a year. And then when that movie starts off and you hear, the sound of that song start to slowly come in, and then you see, I'm just going to call him Billy Mack, because that's his character's name. And you see him doing that thing, and it's like, I feel it in my fingers.
I feel it.
It's like, there's just something joyous about like that being reserved for Christmas. And, and so hearing that again after it's been a year. So, which is not to say I'd never watched it at a non-Christmas time.
I only have like 2 major issues with it, but otherwise I really, really love Love Actually.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's an easy movie, I imagine, to have some issues with, but like, as just pure sort of romantic fantasy, I
like the love story of the Prime Minister.
Yeah,
that's kind of my favorite, like little.
And I love
like 6 or 7 stories or something like that.
And I love that storyline just totally trashes our country.
Yeah.
Like, don't take us down, U.S. government, please. But yeah, that whole scene with Billy Bob Thornton as the president, and and they're both up there speaking, and again, music. Like, talk about my love of music. Craig Armstrong's love theme for those 2 characters, not Hugh Grant and Billy Bob Thornton, but Hugh Grant. And it's been too long. I don't remember the. I'm going to say actress's name, but actor's name. Yeah, I'll never remember her name, but their love.
Yeah, Stephen is getting exactly one of my major concerns, which is nothing says Christmas like heteronormative romance.
And that's fair.
Statistically, if there are 7 couples, someone's got to be queer. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but it had like. Take it easy on me. It had so many of my favorite actors, and it's a deliriously happy movie, except for like it actually gets really sad in other storylines. You got because I actually really do also love this, not because it makes me happy. I mean, it does make me sad. The storyline with Alan Rickman and Emma. Why can't I talk? Emma Thompson, because it's like unflinchingly, like, sort of real and almost cruel. And the way she displays those emotions when she turns on the music on the CD player and she's crying. It's a really powerful performance from her, as much as like I hate watching those scenes. It's kind of great at the same time, just the fact that the whole movie isn't like sugar-coated happiness.
This is totally random, but has to do with Keira. Is the Most Dangerous Method the only one where she had to put on an accent, or has she had to put on an accent other than British or American?
That I don't know, because I was going to say she's had
of course American
American accent a couple times,
but she's done that. She did that Russian accent, and I thought that was it. Is British American and one movie of Russian accent?
Yeah, it might be.
So maybe chat. Maybe you know a Keira movie where she had to put on an accent that wasn't her own English, American, or Russian. which I thought she actually did really well on.
If she's in a Marvel movie, maybe she can start off with a really thick accent and then phase it out as the movies go on, as seems to be tradition.
Look, as someone who used to have a different accent, you can, fall into one and be very comfortable and it becomes your new accent, but you can always go back to what you previously had. The brain pathways are still there.
Hi, Sanri.
Hello, Sanri.
Go to Sanri's the Threadless store. Buy her stuff.
Oh, and Lucy in the chat was talking about how, their love of Keira. And gee, do we have the place for you? Have you met the Knights of Keira? We have Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. We talk about Keira. John posts beautiful pictures and posts about Keira. It's very fun. We have a great time.
Which I did notice that I was trying to be like well behaved on the Instagram account, like keeping it focused on her films. I did start to notice that when I started like posting more of the sort of, we'll call them traditional modeling pictures of Keira, they started getting a lot of likes. So,
gee, that's weird how Instagram works like that.
But no, it's actually rather cool. We've been getting a lot of followers, a lot more than I thought we would.
Yes, we talk about her movies and defend her honor.
Yeah. And that's actually why I think we were glad to be able to do this, because we were all set to go on launching the podcast, but then I was just so overtired. I said, Amy, I could use a break, and I think you were completely on board with that, because you said
I've been taking more of a break on my own podcast as well. So yeah, I just finished up finals, and I started a new semester because my university is stupidly on the quarter system. So I have 3 10-week short semesters rather than 2 16-week ones, which I would much prefer. So I'm starting one of those, and I teach and all the things. And yeah, I've been enjoying the time, and I'm also going to take some time off in June. So that will be fun.
It's
Thank
so funny,
you, Sean.
Because I know what Sean looks like, but every time I see his screen name, I still picture like Dolores Ed. Just
really, because I picture him as the Buddha because of his meditation. I have seen a picture of him, but I always see him as like in a meditating position.
Yeah, I do apologize, man, because you've been I shouldn't say anything like that, because you're actually one of the few people who's supportive in my love of the Phantom Menace. So
yeah, you got to keep those friends close.
No, I should be staying on your good side, man. Oh no, we're starting something, Amy.
Oh my god.
I mean, everybody should go ahead and
do your thing, like
yeah.
your thing, find other people that like your thing and like it together. That's what fandoms are for.
That is from The Fountain. I didn't recognize it. Yeah. Have you seen The Fountain?
And Potter, hold on. This is a dumb thing, but Potter, there is a 4th one called the Summer Quarter, but I'm a grad student and I actually rest and not do it, but some undergrads take classes. Or if I wanted to make extra money, I could teach over the summer, but Mama not doing it. She needs a rest. Anyway, here we go. Sorry about that.
Have you seen The Fountain, Amy?
I don't think so. Sorry, there's a gnat in here. No, I don't think so.
I mean, it's weird, but I really have always liked it.
It's not like The Fountainhead, right? Not like Ayn Rand shit. Okay,
no.
That's all I needed to know. I'm in.
It's by Darren Aronofsky, who did Black Swan, and also what's the one I can never watch again because it freaked me out? Requiem for a Dream.
I love Requiem for a Dream.
I
Is it because you're scared of drugs?
Like, yeah, I mean, it made me like after I watched it, like for days after that, I kept like grabbing my arm, like.
Right, and the song. What did I tell you about Haunting Melodies? This was the other example. I gave you Pan's Labyrinth. Also, A Requiem for a Dream. That is
Do
a
you know
haunting
where?
melody.
Do you know where else they used that tune
I
from the
think
score?
isn't it a Beethoven symphony or something?
No, no, no. It was written
Okay.
for the film,
Yeah.
but they did an orchestral version of it.
Yeah, I played it in orchestra, which is hilarious because I hadn't seen the movie and didn't know it was about drugs.
Yeah, they used it in the trailer for The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers,
Really?
which is such a
Oh.
random thing to use music from that film
Oh look,
in the advertisement for
Matthew
The
was
Two
just
Towers.
right behind you because of
Yeah,
our live lag. But there, yeah, Matthew was like, "Don't forget this."
so funny because my boss at the time was like a huge fan of Requiem for a
Oh my
Dream.
gosh, thank you,
And
Lucy, for sticking around. It's
yeah,
midnight there for them. Thank you for sticking around to hear our
thank
love
you,
of
Lucy.
Keira. That means a lot.
Yeah,
And like Steven says, you're hardcore.
yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. That means a lot to us.
Yeah, and back to what I was saying before, we are going to be turning into a podcast in the coming weeks. We just have to finish getting everything set up for it. I think we may be actually getting someone, a professional, to edit the podcast for us. So
Yes.
that's going to make our lives easier.
Which was one of
But
our major reservations about this, is that John would have to put in quite a lot of hours editing.
yeah, so when we do start that, we are going to be having monthly dedicated episodes to Keira, which thanks to our friend Yogi is going to be his suggestion. It's going to be called The Nightly Hour.
The Nightly Hour. It's
So
going to
look
be great.
forward to that.
Yeah, Nights of Keira will never stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
I like, this is exactly why I'm so glad that we met, Amy, because just aside from the fact that we have so much in common, but like, you really have been the person to to make this shall we call it obsession a little more okay.
Slightly more okay, but don't get too full of yourself, John.
Yeah,
Stay on
exactly.
guard. Yes.
But oh god, well, oh yeah, Requiem for a Dream. Like, okay, to be clear, I think it's a great film. It's incredibly well made, but I found it so completely disturbing that I will never be able to watch it again. Just never.
And yet I'm this huge horror fan, which is why we're an interesting podcast sibling couple, because we kind of fill in each other's, like, we like a lot of the same things, but then we also have separate kind of expertise and likes that we can bring in, which is always nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we can sympathize.
Ours too. Can we talk about the Duchess, please?
Oh, I think we've covered that.
I mean,
like, we don't
yes.
need to. It's not like it's your favorite Keira movie.
I mean, it's not like I dream about this dress or anything. Yes, I did. John and I did a whole discussion on the Duchess because it's my favorite Keira Knightley film, and we talked about it. So I don't want to beat this horse, a dead horse, but I have to talk about it because it is my favorite of her performances, and a lot of the reason is the emotional scenes and also her relationship with, well, her best friend, which becomes her husband's mistress. That's a very interesting dynamic to me because, hey, are you guys ready? First one of the stream, because of the patriarchy, they both have to navigate being friends.
I still have a little orange juice left, so
they have to navigate being friends while also being in a world where Georgina, Kira's Georgiana, yeah, her G, I'll call her G because that's what her husband calls her. But yeah, Keira Knightley's character has to accept a lot of things that are hard to accept because of the way that women were in a lower station, still kind of are now, but at the time it was even worse. Your husband owned the house. He had rights to the kids, more like exclusive rights to the kids. If she left, she would lose visitation rights to her kids. There were a lot of pressures going on both of them as mothers, and it really that conflict being kind of the main part of the movie is why it attracts me so much, because I think most women can relate to having a girlfriend and guys getting in the way, or love interest getting in the way, in general, whether they be male, female, or non-binary.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting because this goes back to what you were saying before. I think even though we both love, Keira movies, I think we tend to love different aspects of them, which is not to say I don't respond very strongly to, the ideas of, societal pressures on women and all that. But I'm obviously very much the unabashed romantic. I think you can see the fact that Pride and Prejudice is my favorite, and I love Atonement so much, and that's the sort of, as horribly sad as it is, but at the core of it is this tragic romance that it doesn't get to be. And and even with something like Colette, I respond strongly to not only the love story between her and Missy, but also even the relationship between her and her husband, which is,
I put that up before I even said it. Oh,
yeah,
best co-host ever.
As volatile as it is, like,
it's a weird friendship,
and it's
kind of
like, and as horrible as he is, it's like you understand what makes his character tick, and so I really like their dynamic, because even while while it's kind of a miserable, but it's not always a miserable relationship, and I think that's what I like about it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is obviously he locks her up and is like, right, and all this awful thing, but he also, I mean, putting aside the fact that he gets off on it, he's also kind of okay with her exploring her sexuality, which is refreshing for a man of his time.
Yeah, but he's okay with it so long as it is with a woman, because because that,
which is also a very common hetero man thing, which is like, oh, you want to kiss a woman? Hot. It's like, oh, you want to sleep with another dude? No, that's not okay, right? Yeah. One counts as cheating, the other doesn't. I totally don't know anything about that. But yeah, I think that the interesting power dynamics between them, to where they are able to achieve a certain level of friendship, but it's obviously very much overshadowed by the power that he holds over her by being a man in this world where she's she's the woman, and I'm going to go ahead and count that as patriarchy.
Yeah, but what enables
I want another sip of tea.
What really enables me, though, to enjoy like their sort of back and forth throughout the movie, where like even when he's being horrible, they have like this sort of dance between the two of them where they get in jabs and stuff. But what makes that kind of all okay is that she gets one of the best telling off speeches in the history of cinema at the end of the film, which makes everything right.
Yes, exactly. What is it? The name of her character,
Colette.
No, that's her name. But is that the name of the character that she wrote, or is that her?
Oh
name?
No. What? God, why am I blanking out on this?
I'm totally blanking too. Anyway, saying that character is dead. I've outgrown her.
That's Claudine.
Claudine. Yeah, saying Claudine is dead. I've outgrown her. Right. That speech is one of the most empowering speeches that she has given in as far as her performances.
And also, you hurt and you hurt and you hurt. Yes. And you think by saying I'm a man, that's what men do, you wipe it all away.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong. And it's just, there's so many great lines throughout that speech. And
yeah, because isn't that he's the one? Yes, because he's getting with sex workers. He has that line, I think, about. By the way, there's nothing wrong with using sex work. Just maybe don't be in a monogamous relationship. like figure out a poly thing. I'm just saying. Anyway,
It
and
says,
so he says that
we're the weaker sex.
yes, we have these urges that you whip, and it's a very also. I'm just gonna keep. I guess heteronormative might need to become another drinking game, but this very heteronormative expectation of male desire being uncontrollable and female desire is being really downplayed, and if it is encouraged, then it's going to go to excess. But whereas the men can go to excess with their sexual desire.
You know what? It's funny. I noticed, like, and this was
whereas I could go to excess with mine too.
This is the same thing that happened on the Colette stream, where as much as we're huge Keira fans, there is this temptation to talk about Willie a lot.
Yes.
he's such like an interesting character. Like, again, as horrible as he is, and Dominic West plays the hell out of that part.
Yeah.
And that's why that film is so great, because it's the two leading performances just one batting against the other, and it's enthralling to watch. But I think,
and seeing the fallout of the relationship too was interesting. That's why I like other movies. I wanted to say a couple of titles that you haven't seen though, John, and it would kind of give away the end of the love stories, so I won't say it. But sometimes things don't work out, and sometimes that person is not your happily ever after. And even with Missy, it was not technically her happily ever after. They were together for a while, but did not stay together. I think that we are trained to look at life as one. You need to find one long, successful relationship, otherwise you're a failure. When some people have perfectly good lives, having about 2 to 4 major partners in their life, all successful, but you stopped growing together, you grew apart, this kind of thing. There are many different reasons why things don't work out. And I think the shame associated, like we see that in The Duchess, the shame associated with divorce, with breakup, it keeps people in bad situations. So when you see Keira's character get out of it, which is why Colette and the Duchess are great bookends, the Duchess finally comes to, especially because she has children, whereas Colette does not. That's a big difference. G kind of has to negotiate, and then we see with Colette, she is able to get out of that said relationship and is able to start another relationship that I'm sure in many ways was much more healthy than.
Yeah, as you're saying, they go really well together, and I just love how Colette is sort of it's an evolution of the Duchess almost, and because it's so easy just to watch the Duchess and be like so sad about where she ends up and what she has to continue to live with.
And I think that also the focus, I always appreciate when her characters, the focus is not necessarily motherhood, but that being said, the scenes like this in The Duchess, where
oh god, you're gonna get me crying,
so impactful, and it really shows how women were or even now are expected to become mothers, and also they're kind of jerked around their whole lives. They're never fully able to be the kind of the have the independence that would be best for them. So we do have, because she had a child out of an affair, out of wedlock, the family of the father of that baby really gets a say on what happens and not her.
I'm sure I probably said this when we were talking about the Duchess on its own stream, but I really rather wish that I could play video clips on here without worrying about copyright, because I would just want to show that scene between her and the Duke after she discovers, him having sex with Haley Atwell's character, and that explosion of hers.
What's her name? Was her name Elizabeth? Lizzie?
Yeah.
Her friend?
Bess. Yeah.
Bess. Dang it.
And
too many short ways to say. that name.
Yeah, the speech where she's like, of all the women, you had to throw yourself on.
Yeah, of all the
That's
women.
I have. She is my sole comfort in our marriage. You have robbed me of my only friend. Although she yells that out, and it's why I kind of agree with you that I think it's my favorite performance of hers, because it's just so like emotionally untethered at times. She just goes so many places, which on the one hand, I feel kind of guilty saying that, because I know that Keira was actually going through quite a number of sort of emotional problems with the paparazzi and all that stuff while they were filming this. So she's even said that probably filtered into her performance. But she's just so good in it. And that was, again, going back to my frustration with the Oscars, that was like the first time I was like, how are you not going to nominate her for that? It's so good. But
yeah.
And we are actually going to do an Oscar special. No, I take that back. It was going to be an Oscar special, but we've decided the Oscars are nothing. It's going to be the first annual Cinematic Realms Film Awards.
Yes.
We will have our own rules.
And exactly, and true to brand, I'm going to take cinematic a little bit liberally, and I'm also going to have a TV show category because I'm such a show watcher. So it's whatever we want to do.
I mean, this is true right here.
Yes,
Laura has a point. Why don't we actually just stop, because we've kind of gone past the halfway point, but we should go ahead and do the mid-roll. I'll
Stick
just say,
around. This is the mid-roll. We still have another hour of content. Thank you.
Yeah, don't leave.
Don't leave. This happens like every other stream. Someone thinks it's over, but it's not. This is the middle part.
Yeah. As far as the channel, we are still going to be transitioning over to doing the Cinematic Realms podcast, which there will be still a video version right here on the channel, but it won't be live. Although I think we kind of discovered that we're okay with coming back to do live streams just so long as it's not all the time. Like, I think we were excited about doing this, so there probably will still be live streams every once in a while, just not every week.
We want our Saturdays back, people.
Yeah. And so we have actually recorded our first episode. So it just has to be edited and, fine-tuned, and then we'll get that to you guys. It's basically just Amy and I talking back and forth about a bunch of different things. We really ran,
we ranted a lot.
Ran the gauntlet.
We're hoping the future of the podcast, especially in the beginning, will be a lot more conversational and kind of based on a lot of you all, I'm sure, listen to podcasts where, you kind of get to know the personalities of the podcast and they feel like friends. And that's kind of what we're going for. We're your movie friends. So. Yeah.
And Matt, I do want to apologize because we did say when we wrapped up the last live stream was that we were going right into it, but like I said, it was time for a break. I had been feeling really overwhelmed, and I'm sure, and Amy, I know you've been thankful because you've had a lot of work that you've had to do, and it seemed like it was better to take a break as we were getting ready to launch the podcast versus maybe a couple weeks into it.
Yeah, so we still have our schedule. Everything's just being pushed back.
Yeah.
So. But we don't worry. Me, the keeper of the schedule. We still know what we're going to talk about for the next 8 episodes or so.
So we will get that first podcast episode to you hopefully within the next couple weeks, and then after that, I think we're still planning to do the Wizard of Oz after that, and then as far as I know, I think we're going to keep our schedule for the Pirates of the Caribbean talk, so it'll be the first installment of the Nightly Hour.
Yes.
And then we had other stuff scheduled after that, but we're going to have to take a look at it because even though we're going to keep things mostly the same, we might have to move a couple things around, especially if we're going to do that, the Film Awards episode. at the time that the Oscars are happening, even though we're not talking about those people, but but it's still probably a good idea to do it around the same time so we can steal their spotlight, Amy.
Yes.
Because everybody's
the
going to come
first annual,
watch
which
us.
lets you know there's a history. The first annual Cinematic Realms Awards, movie awards, are gonna be the talk of the town. It's the annual event. Make sure you wear your pearls. It's gonna be great.
But yeah, so I mean that's it for Cinematic Realms. Let me take 15 while you go ahead and do your.
Oh my gosh, John! I'm gonna keep it real short this time. You could just limit how many things I can plug, like Steven does, if you want. I guess.
No, I know better.
I'm gonna keep it real quick. Not really. I'm gonna keep it quick. So I just have been doing mostly Avatar: The Last Airbender content on my channel, the Amy Blackfire YouTube channel. I am also available on all podcast platforms. And I also have a blog to go along with that. And I so you can find, I'm on Anchor is where you can find me, and I'm also randomly on Podbean. There are a lot of people that use Podbean, so there you go. And so yes, I am getting back into A Song of Ice and Fire. My next couple of things are going to be, I'm going to have to load the links on to talk about the characters in The Song of Ice and Fire, that female characters who cross-dress like men in order to move about masculine spaces, like Danny Flint, Arella/Sorella, or Lyanna Stark as the Knight of the Laughing Tree. So we're going to have a very good time talking about that. And I'm going to be back on with Julie. We wrote a letter to Jon Snow. We let him know what we thought, and we had a discussion about Jon Snow. Now we are going to be writing a letter to Quaithe. We're done with the mystery Quaithe, and we're telling you all about it. So we're going to be writing about Quaithe and our feelings about that, and about prophetic characters in general. That will be very fun. And I have more His Dark Materials coming up. And also, have you heard the good word of the Poppy War?
Oh my God, I haven't.
Finally, with some Poppy War content. First episode is going to be with Load Links. We're going to be talking about the feminine in the Poppy War. And I'm also definitely going to be talking about the Pantheon of the Gods and shamanism in an episode, which I might just do by myself if I can't find a guest, because I'm really excited to talk about it. So yes, lots of stuff coming on. Please follow me everywhere. Like, subscribe, do all the things. I also really, really appreciate thoughtful YouTube comments, like what reflective rambling posts. Those are always my favorite. Oh, and if you 5-star review me on Apple Podcasts or any other platform, I will read your review on my podcasts, because I have no reviews. I only have star ratings. I need some good reviews. So if it's a bad review, I won't read it out. So don't do that.
And I just saw that we've been joined by Blue Lemon Tree. Thank you. And I'm so excited because I know you guys were recording a podcast. So I'm glad you could make it.
Yes, check out the Silent Sisters podcast with Blue Lemon Tree and Little Wolf. Just kidding, Little Wolf Bird. They have some really, really awesome stuff going on. They have, I think, 2 episodes out now, so you can catch them early, which is always fun, because then you become one of the OG fans.
And go check out the latest Here Be Dragons episode, because they guested on with me and Steven to talk about social anxiety and fandom engagement, which was a very cathartic conversation to have. I know I had a great time. So yeah, that didn't take too.
Crack back into it. I told you I was going to keep it short, John. Well, did you want to plug BTP? Bleep it, y'all.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that is.
That's the 8th of April. I believe we changed it to Thursday, April 8th.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make. Yeah, that is the weekend. Sorry.
7 Eastern. I'm doing time zones. Hold on. Is it 7 Eastern? I am bad with time zones. Thursday night, April 8th, we are over on Nessie's channel, The Unspun Yarn. We are going to have the 3rd episode of Bleep the Patriarchy. Bleep it, y'all. And we are going to be talking about toxic masculinity with a couple of guys who have a thing or two to say about it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been listening to anything at all that I've been saying, I definitely am gonna have a lot to say on that because it hasn't been the easiest road to sort of proudly say, yeah, one of my favorite movies of all time is Pride and Prejudice. And Amy and I actually talked a bit about this over on her channel on her first Buddy Banter episode. So definitely go check that out if you want to hear more about that.
Yes, a pseudo monthly series where I have on a friend to talk about whatever they want to talk about. Just talked about the Kung Fu Panda movies with Yogi, so check that out if you're a fan.
I loved when Yogi was all like, I was taking a look at the topics for these, the first couple ones, and it was like, oh, I better come up with something good. And then he saw Micah's,
and Micah was like, DC TV shows. Like, hey. Yeah, I literally mean anything when I say anything, whatever my guest, unless it's like why we should be sacrificing children to volcanoes, whatever my guest wants to talk about.
Yeah, and we have the return of Aaron.
Aaron back in the chat.
Yay. But so okay, yeah, we can.
So please check out the Unspun Yarn. Nessie deserves your sub and your love because Nessie is amazing.
Which, by the way, speaking of Here Be Dragons, do make sure that you tune in on Sunday at 6 p.m. because I believe we'll be talking about the first couple episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And even though it's still going to be a couple weeks away, I do want to mention that we actually are going to be getting also to the third season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which I'm really excited about because it's been a while since we left off with season 2.
You're strong-arming everyone to watch it.
I am. It's so good. And now Bad Batch is coming out, so everybody should be catching up so they can watch that too. But okay, so let's dive back in.
Let's do it.
I came with like props today, right? Because I have like my deluxe DVD edition of Pride and Prejudice.
Of course.
Gift set. And I have my book version of Atonement, which I read like right after Pride and Prejudice came out because they announced they were making the film.
Nice.
And then I have to show off this big Pirates of the Caribbean Blu-ray box set, which is way bigger than it needs to be. But it's like it. It's like the actual it's got the pirate code.
They're really more like guidelines though.
Yeah. That's true.
Also, I believe Aaron missed your shirt show and tell too if you wanted to do another one of those.
There you go, Aaron.
Yay!
Like,
the main character of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
And I honestly can't believe that this was my first Keira shirt. That seems kind of scandalous, don't you think?
I feel like you were falling down on the job. But that's like me not having any Avatar The Last Airbender merch. I've been obsessed with that since it came out, and yet I don't think I have anything that's Avatar Last Airbender. Because I know once I start spending, I won't stop. With this, like, I already have 3 different shirts for the Flash. I have Classic Flash, Newer Flash, and then Kid Flash. So I was like, I need to stop. And then Wonder Woman, I have 3 shirts. So, once I get started, it's really hard to stop. So some things I just have to be like, later, But yes, yeah, I do like the burgundy color as well.
Yeah, well, I told you why I did that because it's actually the color of the dress that she wears in the first film. So I thought it would match well with it. But yeah, I like it. There was a lot of other like because I got it off of Redbubble, and there's like a lot of other like personalized merchandise on there. But I thought I'll stick with a shirt. Don't want to go too far off the deep end with my Keira merch.
Don't want to go too far.
I'd like to remind you guys, if you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and keep them coming, and we'll alternate between that and continuing our Keira talk.
Banter. Yes, Redbubble, Aaron, exactly. Actually, speaking of Redbubble, that's where I got this pillow cover, which is a map of Westeros, since we're doing show and tell. I have another one, but I don't have a pillow that it fits. Just have one pillow of this size, which is not great decorating on my part.
So, speaking of movies that, because I got you to watch Atonement, another film that I want to get you to watch, which is probably, I think it's our newest one, which is Misbehavior, which is one that I think you're going to love, because they actually say the words, the patriarchy, like 50 times throughout the film.
Oh no, I would get so drunk. I'm excited. Or caffeinated if it was the morning and I was drinking tea or coffee. Although, John, I did have one question though, which is something that I noticed when we were making our list, is that I have a lot of older movies, like in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. What is your favorite older movie? I'm saying made before 1980. That's where I'm putting it down. 80s movies are technically old to a lot of people, but made before 1980, that's where I'm putting it. What's your favorite movie?
Well, let me take a look at what I wrote down, because we did make our older movie lists.
Yes, we made older movie lists, and I don't think we had any overlap, which is our normal movie list, which we each made separately, just about movies in general, had some overlap.
Yeah, well, I mean, in fairness, you wrote down 8, I wrote down 10, like our other list is like...
Oh no,
it's like what,
it's up to...
It's up to 170.
170. That's how many movies we have on the list. So anyone who's like, gee, I hope John and Amy aren't going to run out of content. If we do this for the rest of our lives, we still won't get through this list because we keep adding on to it. We're definitely adding on more than we are making, especially since we're taking a break right now. So not chipping away at it. Oh, then Kate's going to be glad with our first episode after our intro, because she really likes Wizard of Oz. It's her favorite old one. Yeah, you too, chat. What's your favorite old movie?
Yeah, well, okay, if Star Wars counts.
I said before 1980. I mean, yeah, I guess I walked right into that one.
I mean, it would be dishonest to say anything else. But let's exclude Star Wars, because I feel like Star Wars is one of those that's so completely timeless, because it never feels like an older movie when you're watching that as a kid. It sort of feels like something that is ever present. So I'm looking at this list that I came up with, and oh God, it's probably... It might be The Bridge on the River Kwai.
And I know Steven's favorite is Citizen Kane, other than Star Wars. So, Steven. I have a lot of really favorite old movies, but I'm a big Tennessee Williams fan, who was a playwright. Although his original plays were altered because he was a gay man, and so when he had a gay character, they would rewrite it. So the character wasn't gay. But I enjoy Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and Roof. Roof. I'm bad at that. And also Streetcar Named Desire. Stella! Hey, Stella! That's a great movie. But actually, I would have to say The Way We Were is my favorite old movie. I think it's made in the 60s or 70s with Barbra Streisand.
I'm going to put this up just because I don't see us necessarily... covering it in its own episode, because that would be fraught with peril. But Aaron does mention Gone with the Wind, which obviously,
but also racism.
We all recognize the immense problems with the film, but it was, I have to be honest, like growing up, it was my mom's favorite movie, not because of the racism, but because of the sweeping romance of it all, and Clark Gable, and it's Vivian Leigh, right? Yeah, I got that right. And it is such a sweeping Hollywood romance, and so I think even while recognizing the really, really bad, it does have so much to appreciate about it, and it was one of those older films that I remember being able to share with my mom and getting caught up in it. So I want to acknowledge that, because I do think it would probably be a bit too difficult to to tackle that in its own episode. So I did just want to do a shout out there. But yeah, and Doctor Strangelove is insane. Like that whole scene where he's talking about robbing us of our bodily fluids, and it's like, how do you come up with this?
That's how I feel about Rocky Horror Picture Show. I just love it. I don't understand, but I love it. It's great. Yes. Yeah, but there are a lot of horror movies that
I actually it was many years before I actually saw Citizen Kane, and I admire it greatly. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's one of my favorite movies ever, but I do think that it's worthy of much acclaim, even if it's the greatest film ever made. By default, talk is a bit overwrought, but if I could pick one piece of movie memorabilia to own, what would it be? That's interesting.
The dress, the green dress from.
I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. Okay.
If you say so.
Because I'm trying to think if it would be something from Lord of the Rings. Probably not. I'm gonna go ahead and say the dragon head katana sword from Highlander.
Okay. I like that.
Which I actually have a sort of a replica of the one done for the series. But that's a whole different thing from owning like the actual prop used in the movie.
Yeah.
So hi Santavia. Thanks for coming by.
Happy birthday. Yeah, I always think here be dragons.
That is so hilarious that it works both ways. Favorite musical, Fiddler on the Roof.
Nice.
If I Were a Rich Man. I love that movie. I was totally that kid in school, like when they were making the class watch that movie and all the other kids were just sort of surviving it. I was the one who was like singing the songs in my head, getting really into it.
I have two. One is Chinese opera and the other is a musical. So that I get two categories because I deserve it. I really like Rent, and I really like the Chinese opera Farewell My Concubine. I almost said Wicked, though. So it's between Rent and Wicked. I love them both so much.
I saw Wicked on the London stage when I went there.
Oh, that's amazing.
2009, 2010. Yeah, and that was incredible. I remember, like, I went right out and bought the CD after I saw the show, and it was just great. Favorite black and white movie?
Crap. What is I read the book and saw the movie. I can't remember the name, but I think it was black and white. To Kill a Mockingbird. That's my favorite black and white movie. Sorry.
I'm trying to think about the movies that I love that are black and white, because I mean, obviously I've seen plenty of black and white films, but I'm trying to think of which ones like qualify as favorites. Well, you know what? This might be a cop-out because it's not an older film, but and if you want to get technical about it, there's color elements. So
it just says black and white. It can be a stylistic choice nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say Schindler's List.
Okay. I like it. I dig it.
Yeah.
I think if some of it is in black and white, you can count it as a black and white film if you want. It's your birthday, and you have declared it so. Just love this thing. I'm sorry. I find reasons to use it if you haven't noticed.
Because it's a slippery slope there, because since they did like black and white versions of a couple like newer movies over the past couple of years, it's like I'm not going to sit here and say Mad Max Fury Road is my favorite black
Cam Can likes. We were talking about older movies. Bridge on the River Kwai is a very commonly cited awesome older movie.
Yeah, and that was actually the first David Lean film that I saw. I saw. Hey man, what's up? We were actually thanking you earlier for giving us the title of the nightly hour for our for our Keira episodes. But
that's okay. I don't expect people to have seen Farewell My Concubine. There is a movie about two actors playing Farewell My Concubine. It is in Chinese. You need subtitles.
But no, because I saw. What I was saying was I saw Bridge on the River Kwai was my first David Lean film, and then I saw Lawrence of Arabia after that, which it actually took me a couple viewings before I got into that one, but it's now one of my yeah, exactly, Patter. It's actually one of my favorite films now. But I think the first time I tried to watch it was on a pan and scan VHS tape, and like you can't watch Lawrence of Arabia that way. It doesn't work. It's like you can't. I don't think
I watched Avatar on the bus, on a bus. You know, there are certain cinematic movies that need to be enjoyed in a certain way, as far as the setup.
Yeah, and I don't think you can fully appreciate Lawrence of Arabia, and I don't think you could fully appreciate it like on home video until you came around, until widescreen TVs became a thing, and especially the Blu-ray format where you could really get the detail of the image, because it's it's pretty wide image, and David Lean really used the full scope of that image, like that famous scene where Sheriff Ali is riding towards Lawrence, and like, of course you would, Yogi.
He likes Titanic. He admits that he likes Titanic.
They just need to cut it. They just need to cut out all the romance parts, right?
just shots of the boat sinking, and it's 30 minutes long.
Favorite comedy movie?
I already have my answer. It's easy. Big Lebowski, hands down.
Oh. I'm trying really hard not to just say Spaceballs.
I love Spaceballs, though. That's good shit.
And Steven's going to roll his eyes at me because he was like the least positive person about it when we did the retro review of that movie. Me and Tony were on the stream just going on and on about how much we love it.
Look, there are some things that something is your humor or it's not. I think Little Miss Sunshine is hilarious. Some people watch it and giggle twice. I laugh throughout the whole movie. So there's, difference in senses of humor. Some people find certain comedians funny that I don't find funny. I find some funny that people say are overrated. So, but I'm a huge comedy fan, so I always give a comedy movie a try, basically.
I love it. Okay, favorite animated movie / TV show. All right, favorite animated movie, Beauty and the Beast. TV show.
My favorite animated movie is Mulan. I know you're all so surprised.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yes, I almost said something else, but I can't remember. Yeah. I can't. No, I lost it. Whatever the other thing I might have said was. Oh well. So favorite TV show, animated TV show.
Favorite animated TV show. I'm probably gonna say Batman the Animated Series.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I am not surprised by that either.
Like Steven says, not even close. Favorite. Oh, Princess Mononoke. Thank you. Pardon me. Thank you, Yogi. That was what I was going to say. I almost said Princess Mononoke, but then I said Mulan. Both of them are Asian influenced. So one is actually from Japan. But
I do want to make this clear so that Yogi doesn't get too much hate mail.
We need to create an email with a fake intern. send your send your issues to Fiona at.
Although, actually, I don't know why I'm
Fiona
saying.
at JohnWebsterFilm.com.
I don't know why I even need to say that, because I actually don't think he would get that much hate mail, because I think it's actually rather unfashionable to love the romance part of Titanic. But I do, and I don't care who knows it.
I like it because Leo's hot. So there's that. Yes. Oh, I had a question for you, Jada. Maybe you've been asked this before, so stop me if you have.
Patter, leave my movie alone, okay?
I mean, anyway,
Hey.
John. Look, it's not as it can be less problematic with a few tweaks. John, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Non-molecule disintegrating transportation.
So you teleport, but you don't die, or you teleport?
Yeah, it's not the Star Trek teleportation. Okay.
Okay.
It's I can actually, just go anywhere, in a split second with the thoughts, and I don't have to.
So like blinking in Charmed, where it's like you're there and then you're not, and it's really quick.
Yeah. So I don't have to worry.
Yes.
So I don't have to
teleportation.
Yeah, so I don't have to worry about dying every time. So I don't have to go through the whole prestige thing.
Okay, I got you. Nice, I like that.
Especially now.
Oh yeah, you could be like the character in DC. It's totally Vibe, where you like shoot these portals and you go through them. You could do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Sean, Goku and instant transmission from Dragon Ball Z. That is what you need. You're just like, and then you're there. Done. You want to be a Super Saiyan is what you're saying. You probably don't understand anything I'm saying, John. He's like, whatever.
Oh my God, Aaron, I love you.
Yep, that's BAMF teleportation right there. That's awesome. I like that. You would never be late. Well, you could be late because you could know that you can teleport, and so take a little bit longer to get ready. But hey, Cecilia.
Hey, Cecilia. No, we still got about 20 minutes left.
Yeah, we're still going. Also, everyone check out Geeksterelia. I was just on to talk about the Snyder Cut. So if you want to hear all of my DC takes, talked about it with Cecilia. And if you're a Spanish speaker, she most of her podcast is in Spanish. She's been doing a couple of English here and there, though.
Patter, I imagine I'd probably have the porn stash. Right?
Mirror John from what? Like a mirror image of you?
No, the mirror dimension.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. I was like, wait a second. Okay. Yeah, I think that. Oh, this is a good question for Erin though, since she's Team Beard. She would say that real John would have facial hair, and then evil John would be clean shaven, right?
Yeah, but I'm just gonna disregard that anyway. Like, we already know what her,
her feelings about this.
Her feelings about
we know her feelings. She's made them very clear. She's on #Team Beard. Okay. I'm trying to think of like a 20 questions game thing, because I asked the superpower question, which is one of my favorite questions. You haven't seen all of Avatar, otherwise I'd ask you about which nation or bending you would be. That's always a great one. Boo.
I'm really kind of mad at myself that I haven't watched it yet, because it wouldn't take that long to watch.
It's a really short series. You can watch it in a week easily. But yeah. How about, okay, John, you may have already answered this again, so stop me. If you could marry any character in Aswaf, which would you marry? And I assume you're only going to be looking at the women. But remember, there are some hot guys in Aswaf.
Yeah, okay, I'll take note of that and be setting that off to the side.
Alive or dead? I'll put that because a lot of women in George's story die from childbirth.
Like, ride or die. Let's say Daenerys. even if I
He's
burn.
getting it on with the mother of dragons. Sexy. I'm here for it. I'm here for
Should
it.
probably clarify. I'm talking Game
Book
of
Danny?
Thrones, Game of
Or
Thrones
Game of Thrones
Daenerys,
show,
because I would really feel uncomfortable about about
being with
Book
a
Danny.
14-year-old?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna go there.
Game of Thrones age appropriate Danny. All right, Yogi doesn't want a stage 5 clinger over there. Is what he's looking for.
But really, like, if I was going back over to this pile and bringing it back over here, like, I'm not knocking at that door. But if I was, Davos really is the way to go.
I mean, Davos would be okay. I want to say he would be a good boyfriend, but then look what he does with his wife, just being like, "I'm gonna f off to go, do all this stuff and leave you with the kids. Bye." So,
Yes, but we're talking about a sexist society.
Yeah.
Amy. If it's a guy on guy relationship, then I think I'll be fine, right?
Totally. You'll have no issues of discrimination at all. You're gonna be totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be even better. You'll be like, look, guys, we love guys so much, we're guys together. Yay! Totally fine. Everything's gonna be right.
Oh god.
You could be stepdaddy John of Catelyn Stark's kids if you married her. But you know what, Danny, you're gonna go with Danny, and you guys are gonna ride on the back of a dragon together. And honestly, John, that's my answer is probably the same. I would probably marry Danny.
Yeah, it's like, if it doesn't, if it works out badly for me, what a way to go. So,
maybe the only, but I kind of want to go on a date with Satin. That's maybe just to see what he's like. But other than that, yeah, Danny. I'm here for it. But I do have to say there, so other than Keira Knightley, is there a certain actor that you follow this closely, would you say? Like your Keira Knightley is what Steven's, I think Emma Stone is, right?
Yeah.
Like, is there someone who is like even close to Keira? I mean, obviously he's like way up here. But.
Well, it becomes a different thing when you're like, you have admiration for an actor that's then coupled with, an intense crush as well. Then it becomes like a very unique thing. But, and I really was never one to sort of stan actors that much. Yeah, I guess the closest thing, but it's not like I was going major fanboy over him, but because he was making such a large impact over a very impressionable number of years, would be Ian McKellen, just because he had been, he had turned in his performances Magneto, and then he was Gandalf, and then after that I started looking up some of his older films, and actually I think I saw the film Apt Pupil before he even did X-Men, which freaked me out. He's crazy good in that. I don't know if the movie was super great, but he was really scary. And then he was nominated for an Oscar for the film what was it called, the one where he played the James Whale, the director. I can't remember what the name of the film was. Gods and Monsters. So like, but again, that's like admiring an actor, and obviously he was Gandalf, so obviously huge fan there. But it becomes a sort of different. That's sort of a different thing, mostly because I don't have a crush on Ian McKellen. But
I have weird fascination with Jake Gyllenhaal, and I can't explain it. And he might turn out, and I think I have heard that he's like not a great person, but I'm just fascinated by him. I don't know what it is. Also, Yogi was asking about, he said he doesn't think he has a Keira Knightley as in someone that he's obsessed with. Well, he started a podcast about Troye Sivan, so I said, what about Australian pop sensation Troye Sivan? And he says, that's going to count. So, you found your Keira Knightley, Yogi. Yes, thank you, Yogi. He's weirdly sexy. I don't get what it is with Jake Gyllenhaal. Something about him. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. Okay, so we've got that. I like that. That's interesting. Have you... So wait, what did you answer for comedic movie? I forgot your favorite comedic movie.
I said Spaceballs, but...
Have you seen Meet the Parents?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies.
I like it, but I wouldn't call it one of my favorites necessarily. It's like...
It's the eyebrows, the Jake Gyllenhaal eyebrows. There we go.
Spaceballs I love because it's a parody of stuff that I, I really love. It's, it's taking on Star Wars and, and other sci-fi properties, whereas Meet the Parents is sort of a straightforward sort of contemporary comedy, which, I enjoy, but I don't necessarily always say, oh, those are some of my favorite movies. But that said, I remember laughing my ass off watching it. So
I really, really like it. And then there's the sequel, and the third one wasn't very good, but the sequel, Meet the Fockers, was pretty funny. Oh, okay. I like Potter's question. This is a good one. So we talked about your superpower. What would be your weakness? Your kryptonite?
MCU movies.
He's going all out for his birthday. He's coming for you, MCU. Coming for you.
No, I wouldn't say that's my serious answer. What would be my kryptonite?
Like something that in a battle someone could use against you and be instantly weakened.
Anything sports related. And that's the honest to God truth. I feel
like
great.
Someone just like literally you're fighting someone and they're like, here is a broadcast of sports ball, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
Or oh my gosh, it's like in Nightmares where you have a math test and you haven't studied, but it's like you're all of a sudden being interviewed on ESPN. And you're like, what is happening?
It's like
no.
I think someone could throw like a baseball mitt at me and I'd start melting.
Or asking you to be to play the sports ball too.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid and my parents it was when we first moved to Florida. So this was around 92 and my parents wanted me to make friends with the neighborhood kids. So of course they told me to go outside and play, play ball with, the kids out on the streets. And I just remember being so utterly miserable.
Yeah.
It's like, can't you if I was more aware back then, I would have been like, can't you guys just accept me for who I am?
I don't want to do the sports ball.
Yeah. Which is why I was constantly cheating where I'd go over to one of my friends' houses and we'd go inside and we'd just play video games. It was pretending to go outside and really going over to a friend's house to play Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. That's
good stuff.
That was the life. Which is interesting because that in turn led actually to the one physical activity that I truly enjoyed doing, which was I got involved with martial arts. I did that for quite a number of years, made it to black belt. And then that's when I got sick of it. Because, once you make it through that testing, it's like a year and a half of testing capped off by a weekend where they just run you ragged for the final test. It really kind of burns you out of the whole thing.
And you're like, I'm good. I did the thing.
And then they ask you to start teaching the younger students, but you're still paying them to take lessons at the school. It's like, shouldn't you be paying me? So yeah, that's a whole different thing. We can do the whole therapy episode.
Oh my God. Yes.
But,
okay. What is one
I
of
love
your
this.
most...
I love this. We've been doing this more than I thought we would, because I thought we'd be dominated with Keira conversation, which we were in the first half, and
Which is
I
true.
didn't think we'd do as much of this, but I'm having a great time.
I have
this,
another question for you, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is one of your most triumphant moments in life? Where you were just darn proud of yourself and you killed it.
Let me think, because this is going to be hilarious just coming off of what I just said, but one of them definitely is when I made Black Belt.
Yeah.
Just because and I had a real sense of accomplishment with that, because it was a lot of hard work. Trying to think about what else would qualify. This is weird, because this wasn't really a full success, but I felt
Things
really
in life are.
yeah, because I didn't get in, but I got to go up to Florida State University because I was one of the finalists to get into their film program. The year I went up for it, it didn't work out, but it felt really nice to be in a room with people who were equally as passionate about film, and yeah, so it kind of feels like it was a stepping stone to, it's one of those experiences that even if it doesn't work out, you're thankful that you made that effort. And yeah, I see Petar is getting on this. Yeah, without a doubt, like the Doug Adams interview and the fact that it was retweeted by Ian McKellen, which was, like I was shaking
Unreal.
from that. But just the interview itself, too, the fact that it went off so well and that I didn't feel like I was screwing it up, which was, I was terrified of that. So yeah, that was insanely enjoyable for me. Which, by the way, if any of you haven't seen that interview, go watch it, please.
Plugs.
Yeah, and I really am hoping to have Doug back for an episode. On what'll. I mean, if I have him on, maybe we'll do that as a live stream as opposed to a podcast episode. Then that might be a good thing to do a live stream on. I thought about. Well, I'll say I'll say for what I want to ask him on for when I actually talk to him rather than announce it on here. That might be a little improper.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's just getting to do that was real thrill, because it felt like I was like just touching that world that I'd been obsessed with for so many years. It was something that felt like I was so removed from, and to actually, first of all, have the announcement retweeted by the actor who played frickin' Gandalf, which was I had actually been taking a nap and I was woken up by like the sound of my phone buzzing, and
yeah, you were blowing up.
Down, and it was like after retweet, and so I was like, "Is this happening?" And then to just get to talk to Doug, who's worked with Howard Shore and was part of the production of those films, it was just like, is this happening? And so that was just thrilling to do. Probably one of the most exciting experiences I've ever had. Okay, so what is my favorite movie kiss?
With an OU from our German friend. I love it. Americans and their different spelling. We think we're so special.
Yeah, let me the romantic in me, let me dig through all the the romance movies I've seen. I'm having a harder time with this than I
We've
thought I
also
would.
got some latent praise for your Doug Adams interview.
Oh, thanks, man.
Here's Steven's best kiss. It's from Princess Bride, yeah?
Yeah, I've figured somebody would mention that. Um,
Nice.
uh,
Cruel
yeah,
intention.
I'm not going to argue with that. Um, Also, I mean, if we're just going total deviant on it, there's, you could do mention Black Swan as well. But no, I'm going to actually say, wow, I'm really struggling on this. I'm actually going to go to Atonement. It's their kiss in the library, which is then followed up by other stuff. But it's just, and yeah, I'm kind of bottling it up with the entire love scene. But what I love about that is it's so sort of innocent and tender, and I like the fact that James McAvoy, like he kisses her and then he draws back and almost asking her permission. He is asking her permission to proceed, and it's just, and then there's that moment where they each take the time to say "I love you" to the other. So I mean, the whole scene is incredibly romantic before things go horribly wrong. But I do like their kiss in that scene. Um, yeah, I know. And yeah, oh God, now that you mentioned Pride and Prejudice, because they hold on to that until the very end of the film, where it's after, Mrs. Darcy, Mrs. Darcy, Mrs. Darcy, and then they lean in, there's the kiss, and then it cuts to black and the credits come up. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for a whole bunch of them. John, are you into classical music as much as you are into soundtracks? I would say I'm into soundtracks a bit more, but I'm also a pretty big classical music nut. And it all started with seeing Amadeus, which is why I said I, might want to talk about it. But we are definitely going to do an episode about that because it's probably one of the most important films in my sort of evolution as both a film lover and also just in terms of my love of music. So Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is one of my favorite all-time composers. I've listened to the soundtrack from the film like 1,000 times, and I've got a number of his other CDs. I'm also a huge fan of Beethoven, especially his Ninth Symphony, which is, everybody loves the Ninth Symphony. So, and then I also like Wagner's Ring Cycle. I mean, I'm being pretty pedestrian here because I'm naming like the big ones that actually, if you're familiar with classical music, then you're familiar with these pieces. So I'm being kind of boring in that, but
Hey, I like Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Sometimes the popular stuff is the good stuff. It
yeah,
doesn't necessarily mean it's good because it's popular, but sometimes people know what they're talking about.
yeah.
But I played orchestra in high school. All throughout grade school, and so my appreciation of classical music, especially things that I've played, like Gustav Holst, he did a whole thing on all planets. At the time, there were 9. So he wrote Jupiter is my favorite, but he wrote a score for each of the planets, and I really like that series. So I play violin. I don't know, J-Dubs, do you play anything?
No, I wish I did. I started to take lessons for the piano, and when I say started, I mean literally. I just started them. I didn't get very far. It's just because it became difficult between work and a bunch of other stuff I was doing. But I wanted to learn. But see, this is the thing. When this is all over, I think I'm just going to come see you, Amy, and stay for as long as it takes for you to train me to play the violin. Like.
We'll get you doing scale. You have to just spend like a week on holding the violin. A couple weeks just on that and plucking.
I'll quit my job. I'll
just do it.
Like I'm pretty sure you and John are fine with me just moving in, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, no big deal. Sure. We you can use the storage space in the basement of the building if you'd like. just jam out down there.
I'll bribe.
Yeah, not a planet anymore, Stephen, but it was when Gustav Holst wrote the Planets series, so there are 9.
What I'll do is I'll just show up and I'll say, Bronte, I brought a whole bunch more Superman posters. And I'll just get my way into the door.
Aaron has a really good vision of teaching you the violin. We're just going to be drinking and managering you, being like, no, do this, do that. That's wrong. That was a D scale. I asked for a G scale.
See, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah,
but no, seriously.
You have to put so many hours into learning a lot of things, languages and instruments. It's literally just the time you put into it and the effort. You know, when I was in orchestra, if I didn't practice every night, you know, the whole orchestra suffered. So there's a lot of peer pressure if you're playing in a group.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I would really like to. I'm not sitting here like actually trying to convince you to teach me. I don't think
I'm rusty. I don't think
that's going to happen. But you know, in a perfect world, I would like to be able to both afford and set aside the time for. And obviously, right now,
did you do any clubs when you were in school?
No. No, I just wasn't a very social person. It was very much just keeping to myself. Like the first thing that I was involved with in school where I talked to people about was when I got into TV production, and I started doing stuff with the editing systems there because other people wanted to know how to actually use the more sophisticated editing programs like on the Apple computer. Everybody else was using like the low grade Avid Cinema on the PC, which, you know, did like the bare minimum. The video came out looking kind of pixelated. Whereas I'm trying to remember what it was called. I was using a program called Media 100 on the Apple computer, which was basically like a precursor to, oh God, what's it called? Not Adobe. No, not Adobe Premiere. What's the Apple equivalent?
So the better one, the one that's better than iMovie.
Yeah, I can't remember, but basically, it was a precursor to basically what is actually used in the production of like actual films. So I basically trained myself on doing that. And so everybody started to like the look of that. So all of a sudden it was like, John, can you show us how to do that? And it's like, no, this is my machine. Get away.
I was in orchestra. And also I was that government nerd. So the reason I have this is because I was the chair of Model Congress my senior year. So I got to gavel bunch of high schoolers and tell them they weren't following the congressional rules correctly. So I was that girl.
Oh my God. I can't picture you doing that at all.
Yes. Yes. I also obviously was the language nerd. I was in Spanish and Chinese. So I was that overachieving girl that you really hated in high school. I was bad at math. So I've got dyscalculia. Math, I'm basically how people are with dyslexic people with reading. That's how I am with math. So that's fun, I guess.
So yeah, I mean, we've gone over the 2-hour mark. If you guys have any more questions,
last chance for questions because I gotta study. So. And John has the rest of it. He has to watch more Keira films for his birthday. So,
yeah, it's not over. Like, I still got like, what is it, 4 hours left in the day. I can get another movie in there. But yeah, I have to say, like, it's just a testament to like how warm and supportive everybody is that, you know, here I am on my birthday and I'm sitting here talking with you, Amy, and to, an audience of my friends were, for the whole first half of the stream, we were just talking about our shared love of Keira movies, and everybody's like perfectly willing to put up with that and come watch that. I seriously love you guys so much.
Yes, we certainly I'll bring back up this, we really indulge you, John, in your love of Keira. And yes, well, I'm sorry, these didn't take me very long, but I'm really strangely proud of them, so I'm just putting them back up. Happy birthday, John.
Thank you.
You're your 27th, right? Yeah. That's how it goes. Your late 20s are really different from your early 20s, buddy, so be ready for it.
Oh my God. But in all honesty, like, because this past year has been so great with all you guys, it feels different than, when I turned 36. Yes, 36 last year. Because even though, obviously I had met all you guys for the last birthday, but that's when I was first starting up this channel, and I don't know if we had yet started like the Slack group for Here Be Dragons and all that. I don't remember. But even if we had, it was like
You're talking about this time last year?
Yeah.
I remember joining maybe in February or March 2020, right? I think the Slack group was already going by then, because I definitely knew all of you all well enough to invite you to my birthday party in May of last year. So maybe March-ish is when I joined the Slack. I don't know if that's when it was created or what.
Well, I know that, yeah, I honestly don't remember. But like, even if it was around, it was still like early days. And so I was just starting to sort of feel like I was entering this new chapter of my life. And even with as horrible of a year as 2020 was, by all accounts, it was the best year of my life because I got to come to know all you guys and feel like I've made actual real personal progress in evolving into the kind of person that I want to be.
Yeah.
And so I just have to thank you all for just being so great and for being my family.
We're glad to have you, J-Dubs, and we're glad you were born on this day 15 years ago. I'm just going to keep going with it. Apparently, this bit, I need to stop.
Yeah, no, 36 was, to be clear, 36 was last year. I'm 37 now, but I'm saying I feel better about turning 37 than I did about 36.
Yeah, we get super feelsy about the Dragon Fam here on John's birthday. It's his birthday, and he can cry if he wants to.
Exactly. Although I saw on Twitter that
I don't want us to get. I don't want YouTube to.
But I did see on Twitter that Ewan McGregor was trying to steal my thunder, because apparently it's his birthday too.
God, please.
Just posted I posted a GIF on Twitter from Star Wars Rebels with Darth Maul going Kenobi, and that's like my reaction to that. But yeah, so I guess if you guys don't have any more questions, that'll about wrap it up. You have any last minute inquiries for me, Amy?
No, I think I'm good, J-Dubs.
Okay. God, I really honestly wish this didn't have to end, because I've been having a ball, but I know you have to go, Amy, and it has been 2 hours. So I think we can let everybody get on with the night. And besides, we, for those of you who are in the Slack group, we do have the Never Ending Zoom, which I think I'll be hopping onto.
Yes, I think we need to do a special J-Dubs Never Ending Zoom session after this, Dragon Fam, if you are willing and able.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'll just finish off.
But thank you, everyone, for being here to help me celebrate John's birthday together. This has been a lot of fun. And, you know, this time last year, I was just becoming friends with all of you. And now I'm this one's podcast sister. So, you know, lots of things have changed since last year. Oh, Cecilia has a son with a birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday to your son, Cecilia.
Spring babies are the best. I'm also a spring baby. Spring is the best time to have a baby.
Yeah, I just thank you again. That's all I can really say. I love all you guys. I'm not speaking flippantly when I say you're all family. You really are. And so thank you. And I'll just finish by saying, like, if you the only way I can, which is if you haven't seen a whole bunch of Keira movies, go watch them.
Yes,
because they're great. But yeah, so next time will be probably from the podcast, if all goes as it should, and we'll be doing you'll be hearing from us for our intro episode, which we've actually already recorded.
Yes, and we talk about all sorts of things. Give Netflix some talk shit about Netflix. It's really fun.
Yeah. Honestly, like, this is the best. This is probably the best compliment in the world. I love that. But no, anyway, we're going to so there will be that episode, and then we're going to be recording our Wizard of Oz conversation next. And like Amy was saying before, I think part of what we're trying to do with the podcast is to make it more conversational, so that we'll probably be veering really off topic at times. And so
as is our nature.
Yeah.
We're not going to try and restrain it anymore. We're just going to be who we are for Cinematic Realms podcast.
But I have to say, this was so much fun today that I think we'll probably alter our plans just a little bit in terms of, I think we kind of said we were going to not, we were just going to be strictly sort of a podcast except for special occasions. I think we might do occasional live streams, though, just because it is really fun to still get to interact with all you guys.
Definitely. This is a lot of fun.
Matt, I mean, thank you. I'm not going to say no. See, if I do it, it's really, really weird. But
if other people do it, fan art.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Amy, you just want to run through real quick?
I already said a lot in the mid-roll. Just, these are all the things. Amy Blackfire. Find me anywhere. Talk about a lot of dork stuff. I also randomly have a blog on Chinese hip hop. I do things. It's fun. So yes, more Avatar: Last Airbender, Song of Ice and Fire, His Dark Materials, The Poppy War, The Witcher, X-Men, all sorts of stuff. Lots of geeky things. And yes, because I study Chinese, I also often bring in the Eastern symbolism. So we're having a very good time over there on the Amy Blackfire channel. Like I said, please check out Buddy Banter. I have 4 episodes up where I'm talking to a different person who happens to be my friend about whatever they want to talk about. We have great time over there.
Yeah, and I can't wait to be back on for another.
Yes, I am having a
Banter.
special birthday Buddy Banter in May for my birthday. I'm special and get my whole month to myself. It's my birthday month. So I'm going to have all 4 of the people who have been on for Buddy Banter on to talk about what I want to talk about. So we're going to have a really good time. We're going to be talking about shows that we were obsessed with during our teen years. We're going to have a great time. And that will be a live stream. The only time I live stream on my channel is Buddy Banter. So.
And just real quick, one more time, be sure you check out the Knights of Keira on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. We've been getting lots of followers on Instagram, but come on, follow us over on Twitter and Tumblr too. It's lopsided. We need to fill up the other accounts. So yeah, I guess that's it. I keep hanging on because I don't want to say goodbye, but Amy's like, damn it, John.
I have an assignment due tonight, John. Come on.
Okay. Oh, so we're not doing another Keira watch party, Amy?
Oh my gosh. That was fun, but I don't have time.
Okay. No, just kidding. I actually will be hopping on Zoom because I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. So, okay. Everyone have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for coming. Love you guys, and we'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Bye.
Happy birthday again, John.
Thanks.